This is a DK.9 video. We got some more updates on Blackhawks. Of course, I choked right after Blackhawks. Let's see. Let's get into it. Original video be in the top link in the description. You already know. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? This is DK Dynamite, and I think it's time I make this video. We're just about 2 weeks away from the full launch of Black Ops 7, and we have yet to see...
Is that true? Wait, what? Bro, that's actually crazy. Isn't it? Oh, it's a 28?
For a pretty big experience that
bro, it's coming up,
there probably aren't going to know exist until you start seeing YouTube videos about it, and that is the co-op endgame. Definitely stay tuned. Now, before we jump into the campaign, speaking of which, I do want to remind you guys about the free trial for Black Ops 6, which actually kicks off tomorrow as of recording this video. So from October 28th to November the 3rd, there's going to be a massive free trial to conclude the Black Ops 6 life cycle, and at one point in time, it was supposed to include the campaign. I don't believe we've really seen many free trials that included single-player campaigns. It was actually something confirmed in the Season 6 Haunting blog post, but they've since updated the graphic to now confirm that the free trial will simply include all of the Haunting, featuring every map reskin, the multiplayer LTMs, etc.
And that makes
You're also
more
going to be
sense.
looking at 40 plus 66 maps for multiplayer, which will consist of 10 different game modes, and then all 6 round-based maps featuring directed mode support. Now, that's still a pretty big free trial and arguably one of the biggest free trials Call of Duty has ever done. Yes, the timing is peculiar considering that Battlefield 6's Battle Royale does release on October 28th as well, along with its first season of content. Now, I also wanted to mention real quick 20v20 Skirmish. This is a game mode that's already been announced for Black Ops 7 multiplayer and was previewed a little bit in the BO7 Direct just a few months back.
Yeah.
The mode itself will take place in bigger spaces cut out of Avalon. There's Mission Edge and Mission Tide.
This mode's gonna get 0 support and then die.
You can also see images of these maps in the giant graphic confirming what every
multiplayer
map is for the launch of BO7. I do think at one point in time we were supposed to play this mode during the beta, but something clearly changed, and we're gonna have to wait until the launch window to actually jump into it. Now, when it comes to 20v20, I do expect that they'll probably update this mode with additional LTMs, as they did Fireteam within Cold War, and they'll probably add in other maps and other cutouts from Avalon or other spaces entirely, depending on the reception to this mode day one. If it's well received and it's considered the big ground war of Black Ops 7, then you can definitely expect more content throughout the year, but
it's good. No, they're not gonna release any content for it.
as confirmed in a recent interview with Charlie Intel and Treyarch,
Bro,
they're probably not going to update
zero
this mode
people are gonna
if
give a
nobody
fuck.
out there continues to play
Yeah,
it.
nobody's gonna play it. Nobody's gonna play it. Nobody's gonna.
Speaking of Avalon, and to clear things up real quick,
I mean, I'll play it like
that
one time,
locale
right, for
will
fun.
be included in the regular co-op campaign, and you'll probably visit Avalon a couple of different times in a few different missions. But to make things clear, the co-op campaign isn't an open world experience. There are still 11 linear missions that you could play with your friends, similar to what you were able to do in World at War and Black Ops 3's co-op campaigns. Now, I feel like any day now, we could still end up getting a dev talk or an intel drop talking more about campaign, maybe even the skirmish mode for multiplayer, and especially endgame. Now, none of that's been confirmed or teased in a recent BO7 blog, so maybe those dev talks aren't actually coming, but I'll cross my fingers for that. Now, with the 11 linear missions that we're going to be able to play in the BO7 campaign, there is a beginning, middle, and end. To make things clear, the endgame mode that we're about to talk about is not the final mission of the campaign and is instead a separate mode and experience that you're going to be unlocking, similar to when we got Nocturne and Toten after beating the World at War campaign.
Oh, I thought it was like an endgame to the campaign too, so it's separate.
But from what's been explained thus far, we of course have the 4 main characters that you're going to be able to play as in the co-op campaign. If you choose to play solo, then you could do that. It's just going to spawn in some bots as the other characters. And once you go ahead and finish the campaign, there's going to be a continuation of that story, as I believe we're going to be tracking down and taking out the guild over in the big Avalon space. Now, something you guys probably noticed, which I brought up on the recent podcast as well, is that they didn't end up releasing any early gameplay of the Black Ops 7 campaign. Typically around late summertime, so a Gamescom or another gaming event.
Yeah, what did ATV/Ink/Slasher said something funny about that? He was like, them not marketing the campaign at all means one of two things: the campaign is extremely good, or the campaign is horrible. That's what he said.
He's right. I want to say 6 to 10 minutes of footage of.
I'd I lean on the side of it's probably really bad, but
one of the levels of the upcoming Call of Duty campaign, and we just didn't get that this year. I get it, it's a co-op experience, maybe because of spoilers or because of different styles of gameplay in the campaign. Maybe it just isn't presentable in the same way that previous campaigns were.
watch it drop and it's the best campaign in Call of Duty history.
Obviously, I'm a bit
And all
worried
of us
about that,
counted it
as I'm
out.
sure many of you guys are, because
I doubt
if
it,
they're
but that'd be
confident in
so
this
funny.
experience, they
If it's
probably
just,
would have
like,
showed a bit
extremely
more about
good.
it by now.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, the reveal of Black Ops 7 was pretty late. I mean, we didn't get the full gameplay showcase of MP and Zombies until mid-August, so maybe they're just a bit
They're clearly trying to get around, like they're clearly trying to compete with Battlefield, you know what I mean?
behind schedule with how they're going to market this campaign.
I think
We
that's
can still
really
get
what it
some
is.
footage released in the
I don't
coming
think it's that
weeks
they're behind schedule. I think they're just trying to time things properly.
before the official launch.
In my opinion, in my
but as a
personal
side note,
opinion,
while I was
that's what I
editing
think.
this, I also feel like they almost can't market Endgame either, because if they don't market the campaign first, which would emphasize it is a normal campaign that supports co-op play,
Yeah, then they
people
can't
can see
market
Endgame
Endgame.
footage and be like, wait a second, the whole campaign's open world, it's
Yeah.
over. The entire campaign's
over.
an open combat mission from MW3.
Those sucked so bad. I think I still have a gameplay of me playing that. It was so funny because I just did not take it seriously
Even
at all.
though
So it
when
was
you look at
fun.
Cold War and
I didn't
BO6,
finish it. I just played like one part of it.
Raven absolutely crushed it with the open world like elements that those campaigns offered. And in the case of BO7, I think Treyarch actually worked quite a bit on Endgame, whereas Raven probably focused more on the 11 linear missions. But most importantly, I think a lot of people
I still feel like them dropping the campaign a week early for pre-orders was like one of the best things they ever did. I think they should do that. I thought that was so cool.
want
when
to
they
hear a
would do
lot
that.
more about Endgame, the experience.
Because I'm somebody who's like, if like I don't want to play campaign over multiplayer. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm always just gonna play multiplayer, and like there's rarely a time where it's like, okay, I'm gonna play the campaign now.
Unlocked
You know?
after beating the campaign, which, let me break it down for you guys, is simply a PvE experience that, yes, you could play solo if you want, but you're going to be in squads of 4. If you play solo, I'm assuming it forces you to queue with 3 other randoms. If not, maybe it just allows you to play
what?
by yourself, while there's going to be other squads in the big world of Avalon with you.
Oh,
Yes,
oh.
you'll have access to the entirety
Thought
of
about
the
Endgame, got
Avalon
it.
space, whereas you only have access to like little fractions of it within some of the campaign missions, some of the multiplayer maps that we saw within Black Ops 6, and we'll get within BO7.
The Endgame pick
But
does
Endgame
sound
is
very
not
interesting.
the final mission of the campaign. It is a 32-player open-world extraction-like mode. I say like because there isn't a backpack or an inventory like in DMZ or Modern Warfare Zombies, but there is an
Right.
exfil system that's really important for your operator ranking. So here are the few details that Treyarch have confirmed to us, both at the Treyarch event that content creators attended and during the BO7 Direct. Endgame is a proving ground that serves as a culmination of everything you learned throughout the campaign, but turned on its head. It's a social experience where you and your squad need to master abilities and survive overwhelming odds, whereas you break the rules of what you thought a campaign could be. So there'll be your squad of 4, whether you queue in solo and find 3 randoms, or
Okay.
you queue in with your friends, whereas there'll also be 28 other players in the match that you're in, making it a 32-player endless server as they've described. Now, instead of a backpack or an inventory, your operator you spawn in as
Interesting.
will have a level. You can get up to level 60 on a specific operator, and you can create as many operators as you'd like to bring into this mode, kind of similar to the operator selection from DMZ or MW3, except you won't have
Weird.
to buy bundles to actually get more operator slots. You can just keep equipping and creating new operators to bring into this mode. Not sure how you level up the operator. I'm assuming it's just as simple as beating some of the 11 co-op missions and just playing long enough in endgame and exfilling successfully with your squad. Now, as you level your operators up, you'll gain access to new
That sounds really weird, though, doesn't it? Like, what? Like my brain
abilities
kind
and
of
skills
hurt.
that are needed to take out some of the tougher bosses in some of the higher tier zones, as we'll get to. We saw some footage from the Direct showing riot shields, specialist-like abilities, and of
I'm
course,
excited
even the
regardless.
boost jump. Now, if your whole squad dies, the character you're playing as will lose all progress, which will put you back to level 0. But if you have other
oh.
operators already leveled up,
But what
you can
is like? Okay, so you just. So what is the point, though? See, I feel like without the backpack, this doesn't really make much sense.
just equip them and then spawn back into a fresh match.
I mean, you'll have to see,
Now, with how
but-
crazy this sounds, I think a lot of people out there would prefer if we got campaign early access, so that before you even
What?
worry about the multiplayer.
Yeah, why is it, dude? Why are they not doing that again? That was like the best thing ever.
Eventually Warzone, you could just focus on the co-op campaign, beat that, and then hop into the endgame mode, which sounds like its own campaign in and of itself, but as Treyarch described, is relatively similar to the experience that we had in Modern Modern Warfare 3 zombies with a pinch of Blackout sprinkled on top as well.
Oh,
so we saw
okay,
a
okay.
glimpse of the zombies in the direct footage. We know there's going to be these ritual-like areas that you can explore, and you can also tell the skybox color changes
What the
depending
fuck?
on the
That is
zone
weird.
that you're in. They've confirmed for us there's going to be a Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4 zone, which sounds a lot harder than Modern Warfare 3 zombies, which only had 3 tiers starting from 1 to 3. They've also teased world bosses.
That Tier
but they
3
didn't
was
elaborate
brutal,
too
though.
much on that. I'm assuming some of the tougher enemies that we've seen in BO6 and 7 zombies will end up making some appearances through objectives that we have to complete. And it honestly sounds very similar to the faction or act mission structure that we saw in DMZ and then Modern Warfare zombies.
Bro, I heard factions. I got Black Ops 4 PTSD. That's crazy.
Where on screen
I was
you'll
like,
see objectives that you can choose to do, and if you
Started
continue
freaking
to
out.
do them, then you'll progress farther into the story and unlock a certain set of rewards. I think a big question I also have is, let's say you beat the campaign on a PlayStation, but then log in onto your Activision ID through Battle.net. Will you still have access to Endgame? I'm assuming you will, considering
why wouldn't you?
even though
What?
you beat the campaign on a
It's
different
tied to your
platform,
account, isn't
the
it?
mode itself is unlocked on your Activision account.
Wait,
now, something we also need
yeah.
more context on, which was told to us creators at a Treyarch event back in August, is that at some point after launch, I'm assuming Season 1, they're going to open up the Endgame mode to everybody. This makes sense considering the mode itself is going to get support and extra content added, so they probably don't want it to be this case where people out there just feel left out of a seasonal update that Endgame is getting because they didn't beat the 11 linear co-op missions. So it's going to be a case of just getting ahead while you can. If you could beat the campaign, you'll be more prepared for Endgame, but it's not going to be a prerequisite for the whole game's life cycle. But what's also interesting is that Charlie Intel got confirmed in an interview that Endgame is meant to have at least 3 seasons of support. So we're going to be seeing
McKagan is so
updates
hot.
to
What?
this mode throughout the live seasons. And funny
Why would
enough,
you say
kind
that,
of
Ted?
lines
That's
up
kinda
when the
sus.
same map, Avalon, is also meant to get reused for Blackout, which is going to be an exclusive Warzone experience that we end up getting in Season 2. So they're already going to be playing around with this map through Endgame. They're going to be updating it. This mode will also serve as like the space. That you
I'm
probably
very
wanna
excited
jump
for Avalon, dude. I'm very excited.
if you're going-
Because I don't think Treyarch, this is the first Treyarch Warzone map. Let me rephrase that. The first Treyarch Warzone BR map, right? And I've always thought they should get a crack at it.
campaign camos, and there'll also be campaign weekly challenges, which is where Endgame also comes in as the mode that you're going to want to play for.
I mean, they've done a great
But
job
since
with,
Blackout is using the same map,
both
this gives
Area
everybody the
99 and
opportunity to
Rebirth.
really get familiar with the entire.
People didn't like Area 99 because of the, why was it? I forgot. Fuck. Oh, because of, like, just because of how bad it launched. But that map was really well designed.
Of Avalon
Like,
as
overall,
one big
it wasn't
locale,
perfect, but...
and they're probably going to reuse a good amount of content and assets from Endgame for what's going to be this Blackout-inspired mode coming at some point, I want to assume in February. And the last thing I'll end with is that I feel like Zombies players are really going to eat this up. I made a dedicated open world Zombies video about, I want to say a month ago, that I'll leave linked down below, where I go more in detail about how this is essentially a new iteration of Outbreak, just a little bit different.
It kinda
And honestly
is,
sounds like
yeah.
a true spiritual successor to Modern Warfare Zombies. I mean, we're talking pack-a-punch weapons, right? Which you could hear being fired in the Black Ops 7 Direct. And the presence of zombies alone also
what?
flashes memories of Blackout, where you might be walking around and see a mystery box or a zombie boss. Maybe you find the wonder weapon. There'll be secrets to uncover, and I'm assuming side Easter eggs that really boost the replayability of this mode. I just feel like when it
Weird.
comes to Zombies fans in particular, they're going to be real busy with Ashes of the Damned, Dead Ops Arcade 4, Survival, and the grind just in those modes alone. So they probably won't see Endgame or jump into it until a little while after launch.
I
But as a
forgot
reminder,
about Dead Ops
folks, I'll
Arcade
be covering
4.
this mode day 1 as I do go ahead and unlock it after beating
Dude,
the
this game,
campaign.
there's so much
and then
fucking
once
content
Endgame
in
is
this game.
unlocked, we'll
Holy
slowly chip
shit.
away at it while simultaneously covering Ashes of the Damned.
As I
which
said,
will
I'm gonna be
also
streaming and playing the fuck out of this when it drops. Like I'm gonna be streaming constantly. I'm so
bring through
excited
a plethora
to
of
grind
different
this shit
Easter
out
eggs
of
to
this
cover.
game.
But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section with how big the Endgame expansion does sound. Are you guys hoping
That
for more
is
marketing
interesting.
in the
That
coming
was some interesting details I hadn't heard
weeks? Are you
before.
okay with this being more of a secretive experience that we're going to be getting after beating campaign? Also, let me
think
know
it
down
makes
below
sense.
your thoughts on this extraction-like experience, even though there's no inventory. With that being said, really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.
All right. Yep. That was a great video by GK Dynamite. As always, interesting information on the endgame shit. I'm curious about that one. Go check out the original video. Support the original video. Video be in the top link in the description. You guys know the drill.